So this is the part 2 of the video, so I'm going to go from Fusion 360 to the Augin app. So first, this is the model that I was using to render in in Fusion 360. This will not export great because it finishes on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these elements. So I don't want to remove them and lose them. So what I'm going to do is check the time on this here. You can see this is 9:49, and then I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to copy it to the same folder, copy, and then you can see the time on this one is 10:16, which is the time now. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to name this Augin. Or we can just call it AR, depending where we're going to use it. So I'll leave this one open because it's got some renderings running in it, as you can see here. I don't think it's going to give me a preview yet. It's too early. Oh, there it is. So we can close that. So now what I've found is I have used a glass finish before, which did actually work. Now it wasn't clear, but so what we're going to do is let's make sure we don't start working in this one. Let's open this other one. And it'll open our second file up here, which will be called Lipa AR. This is it here. So it's again reset this. So let's click on this as the top. Make sure you click on it to have it going at a 90-degree angle first. Very important. So let's set this as the top. Okay. So now, for my model purposes, I don't want these because I won't be able to see, because the augmented reality right now, the way I use it, it doesn't. So it doesn't. You can't see true elements just yet. So create bodies from components again, and create bodies from components. It'll take a second, and then what we're going to do is we're going to turn off these plates. So what we can do is double click on them. We can find one, and we should be able to get the rest of them. So you can either turn them off, or you can delete them. Usually when I copy the file, I'll just delete them because I have the original file here anyway. So this is taking just a little bit longer because the other file is doing some renderings for me. So these should turn to components right now. And then what we'll do is double click on these and these. We'll turn them all off because all we want is the structure. Now if I click on it and right click, sometimes it'll let you delete these, other times it won't. See, it's an error, you have to find it in here to delete it. So let's click on this one, and we'll scroll down. And because we're running renderings in the other one, like I just said, it'll be a little bit slower, it can be a little jumpy. Now here's your first plate. So click on the second one. Yeah, so a lot of times you can see that's a plate there as well. This is a side plate. So what we'll do is we can come in here and let's just delete it. We'll just do it the easy way. We'll delete that one. So that's 15 is gone. So if we click here, we can see that's 12, 9, 6. Can't see that one. So we'll just delete these ones. So 12, 9, and 6. So we deleted the front. So what we'll do is we'll just delete the front plates, right? So let's click on this one, double click, let's scroll, we don't know what direction it is, it could be up or down. It doesn't seem to be up here, so it's probably the other direction. Just scroll the whole way anyway. So, you know, ideally I wouldn't really have another project running at the same time in Fusion because, as you know, I'm sure it's an online program, so it's not just relying on your computer, it's also relying on your internet and other things. So if we keep scrolling, it could be a little time consuming, but I figured it was better to include it in the video. You can always fast forward through it. So sometimes it's better to just grab this bar. There you go. So there it is there. So, you know, it takes a little time, but I mean, doesn't take forever. So let's click on these other ones, see if they should be close to it. There you go. So it's this 4 here. So let's start with this one. Delete. Yeah, it didn't delete the first one because I had it selected like that and it was trying to delete the face. So what number was that again? Sorry. 361. Delete. 359. Delete. Now you can also rename these. So I could call this cover plate 1, you know. But we won't, we'll delete it. Alright. The ones on the top, let's not worry about them ones. So now what we're going to do is, some of these appearances will go through. So what we'll do is, let's render it a little bit. So let's render this. Let's go to appearances. And we're going to change some of these appearances. Because this is not going to work as wire mesh, as far as I know. So it'll just end up coming out black. So if we do... I had a glass set up before which worked really well, but it's apparently not saved. So what we can just do is we'll just do something like steel and we'll just change. So we'll duplicate this and let's back the color down a little bit to a light color and let's select all objects and let's apply that to this. Now you're going to have a certain amount of tricking around with this to get it right for yourself, so don't worry about it. So I'm just going to click on these fast. You should also rename these. These are the bolts, so we can rename this bolt so you can find it again easier. And you can see the bolts have changed there. This stainless steel, let's see. So we might be okay. Let's change this. We can delete that. That does not on anything. Let's change the steel color. Now, one tip I'll give you that I didn't do correct. When I copied this file, the reason it doesn't have the appearances on it is because in this other one, I should have gone to save and saved it as version 2, and if you look over here you'll see this change. So I should have realized when I looked at this that it was still the original save, so when I copied it over, that's why it copied over the way it did. So just keep that in mind. If you wanted to keep these when you copy it, save it first and then copy it. So now you can see the appearances are on this one. So that's why that didn't happen. But that's fine. It doesn't really matter because I was going to I wanted to do the appearances again anyway. So let's check. Select objects applied to. Alright, so that's those plates. So let's go to appearances. And let's go to... You have to go to something pretty simple. Let's go to an aluminum. Bead blasted, we'll try that and see. Now, like I said, it's going to be a lot of trial and error here. Let's click on these beams. Let's back them down to kind of a blue color, a light. Let's go lighter even. And these clips, let's just rename that to clips. And let's back the color down to darker and in between. Nah, let's change it to like some sort of red or something like that, like an orange, a yellow. The yellow seems to be kind of safe, blue and yellow. So, alright, so I think we're pretty good there. I don't want this concrete to have a concrete finish because then it won't show up properly. So what I might do is, let's see what happens when we put some glass on it. Let's just do a light colored glass. And we'll apply that to all of these. Now I could have just selected them up here in the browser like I did before, but you can also just drag them on like this. So to give you an idea what this looks like, let's change the background. Let's go to the environment. Now you can see there's a lot of settings in here. You can play around with perspective, all those things. You can save the defaults. I don't usually. I just kind of start from scratch each time. It doesn't take that long. So you get something like that. If I close that and then do play, you can see it'll render that and it'll give you an idea of what it looks like, right? So it's not really what we want it to look like, but that should hopefully work for the Augin app. So let's export and we'll see what happens. So first of all, let's stop this and let's save this as version 2, and you'll see the image will change here from that yellow and the plates will be gone on the front. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to export this. So that the Augin app is the FBX file. So I'm going to go to here, I'm going to File, Export. It's set to F3D first, so go to FBX file. Where do I want to save that? I'll save that back into the folder where the job was, which is this folder here, and that's fine. And export. Now it's going to take a minute, so I'm going to sneak over here, and on the other screen I'm just going to type in Augin app, and I'm going to scroll down, and it's augin.app, and it can be in Spanish. I'm just going to try and get logged in before I drag this on. I'm going to enter the site, and now I'm going to bring it across. So now I'm in my Augin app. It's a free account. The guys are very helpful if you need some help. It's in Spanish, as you can see, I believe, maybe Portuguese. So we can upload. So it does give you an option when you go to the home page to change this to English, and English, okay, and now we've changed it to English. So project name, I'm going to call it LIPA, and then we choose the file. So we're ready, so let's minimize that. Let's see, so this is still working away. This can take a little bit of time, so I'll pause it here. It might take a couple of minutes and then we'll get back to it, and I'll see you in a second. So the file is uploaded. It took probably 5 minutes. So let me get back here. If I go to the file, I'm going to choose the file. I'm going to go back in here, and this is the file FBX. Open. So you can see here there's 2 file formats, IFC and FBX. I haven't really tried the IFC. I'll try that next, and that'll be a quick export from Advanced Steel and a quick upload, and so I can check the differences. So what I'll do is the FBX file. First, I do the FBX because I render a lot of projects anyway, so I have to bring them into Fusion anyway. So we'll just upload that. Doesn't take too long. Project was successful, and then you need to go to your tablet. And I'll record what's on the tablet and show you. So, alright. Hi, so I recorded this on my iPad. The sound wasn't very good, so I'm going to do a voiceover on this. So here I am, I'm on the iPad and I'm on my screen, and there you can see the Augin app there in the top left hand corner. So I'm going to click on that. Here's the app here. So I'm going to click on the app, it'll open. And it's just going to load up whatever settings I have in there, whatever models I have in there. As you can see, I have a couple of extra models. I changed some of the appearances. I changed the concrete from a glass to a grey color. If you change it to concrete, it's going to come up black. So you kind of have to do a plain color, like just use one of the steel and just change the colors. That's you're fairly limited there. So it doesn't load that fast. I cut out the center of that upload. It takes a minute or two. So you can see here, we have the Augin AR icon here. Here's your model. You can rotate this model by just using your fingers on the screen, as I'm doing there. It's on its side because I kept the iPad in landscape mode. Because I want to view in landscape mode, so the video's not switching over and back. So now you'll see this grid appear, and this grid is to locate. So you can see touch to place the model. So this before used to find it difficult to pick a surface, but it works really good now. And you can see here the model has come in a pretty large size, probably close to right scale, I'd say. Hard to tell really, but probably. So just use your fingers, pinch your fingers together like you do on a screen to make a photo bigger or smaller. Then there's also the X-ray mode. The screen recording is a little choppy. The Augin app is not that choppy. It's a lot more smooth than what you're seeing here on the screen. So you can see I have some holes there, that's why there's lines on those plates. You can see through the plates, which is really good. You can see through everything. So that's the X-ray mode. Now you can also go to the edit button there, and there's some other options. You can cut through the model, so you can cut from the top down. You can also cut from the bottom up, but it also moves the model down through the zero axis, which is good. Looks really good. Now if I hit the X-ray button twice, it'll go back to shaded mode, and I can pull it back up shaded, which is kind of cool. So as I just want to repeat that the choppiness is from my video recording. It's not from the Augin app. I'm doing a screen recording there, and obviously it doesn't work so good. So as you can see, I just took a screenshot there, so you can take screenshots. So it really is quite useful. The app works really good now. I used to use a different app. And also it's automatic upload. Some of the other ones aren't automatic upload. So I hope that helps.